So we'll call to order at 7:01 on my watch.
All right.
And I see no public out there since we barely got us. But why don't did everybody get, I'm going to move up the minutes buying time. Did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes from last meeting?
Yep.
Thanks, Matt. Are you going to vote on it anyway? Anyone want to make a move? Your sound's off, so we can't hear you. It's better that way if you're saying something I want to hear.
I'm being honest, sorry.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? There you go. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes are approved. There we go.
Thank you,
We buy
everyone.
us enough time, but that's fine. Why don't we move right on to item 1, new business. Goals. What do we have in there, Dylan, from last? This is-
So I'll bring up the top 5 list that I talked about the last time I was at the meeting. Sorry I missed the last meeting, everybody. Can you see that?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so this was the top 5 that I talked about in January. Farmington Center to West Hartford connection, the water fountains, and events and sponsors. Roadway signage and safety, that's the item that I put the Route 177 crosswalk at. I figured that was encompassing of other things other than just the one crosswalk, and we can kind of make it a goal to improve multiple crosswalks and roadway safety for bicyclists, pedestrians, and everyone. So as long as you guys are all right with me including it in that item, just to keep it to 5. If not, we can add a 6th. But that's what I did from
Okay.
the feedback that we got last meeting.
Any objections to having that an all-encompassing number 4? Ron?
no.
Okay. Okay.
The only
And then-
issue, guys, might be the fact that other than like mom and kids or dad and kids, cyclists really shouldn't be on a sidewalk. They need to be out in the road with the traffic where there's rules. Because every time you cross a driveway with your bike, you're crossing an intersection. And if you're gonna get whacked, it's gonna be at an intersection.
Yeah, more than likely.
That's Matt. I mean, good point. I think that would probably fall under number 5, education, and trying to get the bikers educated. That's kind of the whole deal. It's not, we as bikers, we tend to complain about the drivers. The drivers tend to complain about the bikers. But it's getting that cross-educating, which is key. We were talking, I think Ron was bringing up trying to get something put in the driving test that you've actually got to have something about bikes and being aware of bikes. I think that'd be fantastic if we keep lobbying our state to do something about that.
Ron and I actually had a very successful meeting with a bunch of truckers and changed their minds. So I figure if we can change a trucker's mind, the rest of the general public's probably pretty cool.
I think you're probably right. That sounds great. That sounded like the meeting went really well. Now, do you have any others set up?
No, we don't.
Okay, that was good. Was that just Sanford and Hawley?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
They even paid their guys to be there that day.
That's pretty
Wow.
good.
Just very quickly, as Matt had video evidence of a truck coming very close to him. And I happened to mention it to my sister-in-law, who's the CFO there. And she mentioned it to the owners, and they freaked out because there it was for people to see. So it turned into them wanting to, educate their their drivers and kind of, you know, like just rehabilitate their image, kind of,
Sure.
you know?
Well, they
I
were
guess
taking a
that's-
negative, making a positive at it from their point of view, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
so that's good. As long as they're addressing the problems and not ignoring them, I think that's half the battle.
yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, Matt, I thought there was gonna be a bit of a riot, you know, a bit of the, you know, the truckers kind of, but Matt had answered their questions before they even got to them, so it was pretty cool. I would like to do it again.
Do you
Yeah.
think it would be worthwhile to approach the other companies in town with decent sized trucking fleets?
Well, we have one
Yeah, I
in
think
mind,
so.
right, Neil?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Who
I
else
think,
ran you off the road?
Dunning didn't run me off the road, but he showed his ignorance. He told me I really didn't belong on the road, and not only was I jeopardizing my own life, I was putting his life at risk as well. And I looked at his dump truck and I looked at my 20-pound bike with tiny little tires, and I'm like, how the hell am I jeopardizing him? So I just told him to have a nice day.
Yeah, that falls in the discretion is the better part of valor, Neil.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't fight with a big truck. You're never going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't
But-
always taken that approach, but
Well,
I chose
me either.
to. So.
I'm guilty as well. Rich, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I hear you fine. Yep.
Okay, great. We just started. We were just going over the list that's to the left there, the 5 goals. So Dylan put that together from our last meeting.
But yeah,
10-4.
going back to the education, and I was there, I thought it was very good. And I think one of the things that struck me too is we didn't show the video for reasons, they asked us not to, but we showed it to the leadership team after. And as I keep replaying it in my head, if somebody was walking where Matt was riding his bike, that truck would have moved over and given them 4 or 5 feet.
Right.
Okay. But the fact that he was on his bike, they went zipping right by him, within a couple of
I
feet.
think I needed to be a bit more wobbly, because honest to God, when
Yeah.
you're real smooth, they think they can get as close to you as they want.
So yeah, but if somebody was jogging or if somebody was walking, they'd move right over. And,
Yeah.
and it's just to see that and to visualize that, I think sent a message. I think we should do it to the town. I don't know that we've had any problem with town trucks, but there's a lot of truckers out there who are also drivers in town. They spend a lot
Yep.
of time on the road. I think that would be good.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Dunning, school bus drivers, and you can name all the groups, the trucks that go in the Stop and Shop.
I have a great video of a school bus running me off the road on Webster Street and then yelling at me because he didn't want me to pass the bus because his lights were on. And Doug
Wow.
Frank actually came and looked at the video and said, I'm going to go talk to this guy.
Wow.
Incredible. Well, that's, when you're on the road in your bike and someone's cursing you out and saying they can't cross the double yellow line to pass you. And, Jeff, you can tell me if I'm off base here, but if there's a big truck parked halfway in the lane, nobody's going to stop and wait until they get back in their truck and move it to cross that double yellow line. And if there's a mother with a stroller, they're going to do the same thing. But if you're on a bike, for some reason, it always seems different.
Yep.
Jeff, we can't hear you.
I bet it was real good.
Jeff, we still can't hear you. You're not mute, so your microphone is not pulling from the right spot. Now you're mute. Unmute. Huh.
So people also move over for a postal truck that has stopped. or landscaping trailers, they obviously go around them. But not us.
Yep. No.
Maybe we should come back to that.
Yep, we can come back if we get you back on, if we can ever hear you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have to incorporate the whiteboard. We'll get a little, all right. Well, we'll move on for the moment to item 2.
Yep, the proposed name change, Ron. Would you like to present the name?
Yeah. So what I'm seeing is bicycle and spelled out and pedestrian advisory committee, and then Farmington CT. So bicycle and pedestrian advisory committee, Farmington.
Okay. All right, so we'll move the Farmington to the end.
So
Lovely
it could
known
be
as
beginning,
BAPAC?
it can be beginning or end. I see it both ways. Could flip a coin. So Farmington, Connecticut Bicycle and Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, Farmington, Connecticut.
I like it either way. To me, it doesn't matter.
Does anyone else have an opinion? Okay,
I like it with Farmington, Connecticut on the bottom.
On the bottom? All right, so should we have a vote, CJ, on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee of Farmington, Connecticut?
Farmington
all in
CT.
favor? Wait, what's that, Rich?
Farmington CT. Right. I'll send you the proposed little signage or logo for next meeting.
Sure.
We got Ron on another logo. This will be
It's just
So
all
it's gonna
part of
be- so we'll be known as BAPAC Fact.
No, but it's got the town seal and then just a person being smashed by it and a cyclist not being given the right of way. That's all. Kind of cool.
Okay. So a Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory
Advisory
Committee,
Committee.
Farmington, Connecticut.
Farmington CT.
Farmington CT, excuse me.
Yeah, no comma after Farmington because it's nice and streamlined like that.
Okay. We'll make sure to get the new letterhead printed up shortly.
Okay.
But it's not in the budget for this year, so you probably won't see it until 2025.
The name change?
The letterhead.
Oh,
You can get the
okay.
name change ahead of time.
All right.
Okay. Was that all we had under new business?
Yeah, if we could just vote on the list for the top 5 list,
Okay.
Yeah, let's get back to that. We might
just
have
so that
some
we
issues.
can all be on one page, and that's kind of our set list.
Yeah.
Jeff, I just saw your message. Okay. Been there before, having the computer fighting with itself.
Mhm.
So top 5 list, anybody have any final suggestions? If not, can I have a motion
Well,
to approve it? Yep.
No, I think there's a little discussion. So the top, okay, so water fountain is on there. It's kind of wasting a spot because the water fountains are going in anyway. Like, we're not working toward that anymore per se.
yeah.
It's just a money thing. Right?
Yeah, there's some merit to that. We would be putting in one this year, with the potential of expanding in years coming up.
How about this,
Okay.
Ron? How about if you call it water fountain / porta potties.
Well, so that's what I wanted to get to, is maybe that, you know,
I knew where you were going with that.
well, to get rid of water fountain, we do have more important items on the list than water fountains that are gonna be put in. Anybody? Do you agree with me?
So what are you replacing water fountains with?
Oh, I don't know. I would go back to the list and then see what comes up as
Can you,
this.
can you see the Excel list from last
Man.
meeting?
I can see it.
Can't make that bigger, huh?
Hold your glasses closer to the screen, Ron.
Yeah. No kidding, right?
All right, so jug handle is this tan color. Route 177 crosswalk is right here.
That's a candidate
That's
Or
on
is
there
that-
with these crosswalks, though.
being done anyway. Is that because we had asked for the state to come out and check it out?
Yeah, so regarding that, we can meet this month. So I'll send out an email, and anyone that wants to join us during the day, we'll come up with a time to meet at the crosswalk, and we'll talk about it then. The specific issues.
Okay.
Is that good with everyone?
Will it be before
Obviously,
the,
not everyone can attend, but
will it be before the 28th, do you know?
the 28th of this month,
Yeah,
we can shoot for before the 28th. Absolutely.
Okay. Just, I'm having back surgery on that day, so.
Oh, okay.
I think I got it fixed now.
Right.
Hey, we can hear you,
There we
Jeff.
go.
Yep.
So there are some other things on here that I think we should go after.
Do you want to do something like trail expansion or sidewalk expansion?
Oh, so what exactly did the trail expansion mean?
We had Rich put on some kind of walking trail along Route 4 at Big Bird Bridge. We're kind of getting that. We're getting a connection to the Rails to Trails through the Midpoint Development Project at the where the hot dog stand is in the Meineke, that property, and the auto parts store.
Okay,
So that property is being developed. They've actually started clearing trees in the last couple weeks. I know they have a lot of sewer work that needs to get done. We have a main line that runs under there, but sometime, I believe this fall or this winter coming up, they'll try and get the trail lowered and make the access points on either side. So you'll be able to access their property and the fields and park that are closer to the river behind the car wash
beautiful.
from the trail.
Yeah,
So
and
we're-
obviously, if we can get that done in the winter, it's gonna be a lot less disruptive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they part of the approval was they can't do it during the summer when people are using the trail. We had a few requests for sidewalks from east to west border, Wyden Meadow Road. Wyden Meadow Road, primary path east to west.
But you already commented that really that's not gonna happen.
It's kind of one of those things like the Farmington Center to West Hartford, the jug handle connection. It's one of those things that's years and probably we won't get a lot done year to year, but there would be that one year that we basically go from talking about it to it's happening, and then we get a design, and that would all be at the same time, but a lot of things need to line up for that to happen. So they're kind of longer vision type things, which we
Okay,
have room
then-
for.
Then it doesn't go on the list. So
Yeah.
Well,
what
it
pops out?
depends, I'm sorry, Ron,
Oh, go
to
ahead.
interrupt, it depends if this list is a 1-year short term that where you want to accomplish every year, or if we want to keep things alive and make progress on them, right?
Good point.
So things like the jug handle, which may be part of the Farmington Center or the West Hartford connection. I'd like
Yeah.
to see that on, somehow spiked out so that we're aware of it. And if somebody comes up and says, we're looking to develop this piece of property, somewhere along there, we can point to this and say, yeah, and that could fold
Yeah.
into a solution to at least part of that problem. And the same thing with the Meadow Road or the flats.
So then should we put that on the list? Neil, is that what you're thinking, or?
If we were gonna put another item on and
Yeah.
replace water fountains, I think that would be the one I'd put on, would be the.
Okay, I'll go with that too. And I'm sure Rich would have no problem with that.
Because
Yeah, I'm
I'd
good with
actually
that.
like to see it where we had even a straw man design or a couple of alternatives that we just documented what we think would work. And then as things come up, we could say, yeah, you're developing this property, could you do this? This is part of a solution.
Yeah,
So I'll put expand bike and trail network,
I guess that covers it, right?
right? Bike trail pedestrian network, something like that.
Yes.
And just a small nuance, if I was doing a top 5 list, I'd probably reorder them. I think education might be the number one thing that we want to make some progress on this year, and in my mind, and we already have started that. Roadway signage, and safety at that crosswalk would be number 2.
Yep.
At least in my mind.
Okay, and then keep the rest of it the same, just move those 2 up. Yeah. To me, this list was more so a kind of a long-term list, multiple years,
Mhm.
next year we'll have the same list, but we'll go after, maybe for education, we want to update our link on the town website with some educational material, or expand, add a new school to the bike to school day that Ron does and organizes, or something like that. And then roadway signage and safety. This year our focus will be on the Route 177 crosswalk. We'll have our meeting this month out there. And then next year, maybe it's another crosswalk or intersection where we might have an issue or something like that. To me, this was more long-term things, but things that we can put under these items to help keep us moving in a progressive way.
So it almost sounds like it's like one per year. So like,
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be one per year. That's just my quick
Okay.
example. Yeah.
I'm just curious, does that just knock road signage off the landscape for a year?
No, not at all. Just
Okay,
me talking out loud, trying to
Okay.
explain where I thought the list would help us.
got it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can put as many things as we want under each item. I just think to generalize what our goals are, especially for this year, we focus on these 5 items, and then whatever falls under those 5 items that we determine. But I wanted to get you guys all on the same page on one list, so that we're all working off of one list. And
I think that was a good idea, Dylan. I think it's a good thought. Ron, go ahead.
Well, it crosses into something else, but education is there, and we really can't. So the education, that means educating the public, but does that also mean trying to integrate a program into the school system?
I think it all falls into that category, and that's,
Yeah.
I know, I've seen your post trying to draw out some of the Board of Education people, and,
Didn't work, huh?
no, it didn't, but it was a good effort. I
Well,
appreciate
thanks.
that.
Took me a while to word that one because, didn't want. I'm just wondering now, we can't really move on to that portion until we do get, not a Board of Ed member per se, but even just a member of the, if
Of the
it's a teacher, right?
Well,
Or a-
Ron, I think that's a broader, the number 5 is a broader statement, though. It's just not education through the schools. You've
Public.
done like pop-up things, bike education things, that type of issue falls into education.
Could I chime in on the education?
Absolutely, Jeff, go ahead.
So, I mean, from some of you guys know or don't know, I mean, I taught classes and stuff like that in West Hartford when I was a bike cop for 5 years. Sat on a lot of different committees and stuff, and been involved with groups like this in West Hartford and other towns trying to do things. And sometimes I think the little things, I mean, from my standpoint, from a committee, is you're doing this is our wish list of things, but then at the end of the year, can we check off a few things that we did? For education, for instance, something as simple as, a bumper sticker, just the A to show that you're out there doing things, but a bumper sticker has your little logo or whatever on it that's saying, hey, share the road. Just simpler things like that is education in a small way, all of those different things, whether it be a bicycle helmet thing, whatever. And then as people get to know and get involved and, hey, these guys are doing different things, then maybe you can get yourself into the schools to teach things or whatever. But, I like to think of being able to show at the end of the year, we did this for education, we did this, we did this, we did this. Simpler things than be able to go and say, all right, let's have bicycle safety education rodeos for every 6th grader in all, it's a lot of work and a lot of stuff to do. Sometimes I think, dialing it back just a little bit and just starting with small steps and then maybe growing more people who are involved, in my experience, has worked really well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's excellent. And those types of things, the bumper stickers or window stickers, or if we come up with some kind of educational pamphlet, that's things that we can put out on the table in the lobby at town hall.
So
That
I
people
think
regularly
what's gonna-
visit and pick things up.
And,
So I
and
think
some of
what-
those things also segue into some of your cross-section things like events and sponsors. So you
Yeah.
come up with an education thing, you come up with a sponsor, and now you've got 2 things. And if they're happy with what happened with a bumper sticker, then maybe they'll do something bigger later on for something else. I mean,
Yeah.
so you kill with one thing, you just got 2 things.
So with putting education, so the education isn't just going and doing like a rodeo. We're trying to actually get, most towns have it as a 4th grade program, but we decided with discussions with Westwood's phys ed staff that 5th grade was going to be much easier. So that's the curriculum that we're trying to get in. And we were really close right before COVID, right? We had a lot of momentum. And I think, so me being at all of the bike to school events with the 4th graders, the parents that I talk to are kind of hungry for a bike for the curriculum because they've heard that it's in Simsbury, they've heard that now it's in Canton, and they've heard all these other towns have it. And I think that's an item that we don't need anything leading up to it anymore. I think that gets I think we go for that. If it's not this school year, then right away in the upcoming school year. I think that's almost the most, I think that's one of the two top most important items on that list. And as long as well as going on Facebook, going on Farmington Talks, having the same message on all of those, because those are going to hit way more people than the occasional person that walks in the town hall for a pamphlet. Even the town newsletter, those are great bike safety tips in there. But I think more people are going to see it on social media. And that's I have kind of dropped the ball on that. And I really want to get going on it, which is why I wanted to rename this committee and try to get everyone on one page and then come up with an education plan, which we already have help from Watch Me CT, because they will take our logos and put it on their information and we can post it. I think Avon may have started. So
So,
that's my education thoughts.
Okay, so let me
Yeah.
ask you, back to the initial question though, because
Oh,
we're kind of getting into the details on each of these items. Are we good with this list as it stands for the top 5?
oh, yeah.
yeah, like I said,
I
I'd
vote
reorder
yes.
it, and education would be number 1. So,
Okay, can you do that, Dylan? Put that up the top?
Yep. Or I can just,
and then the signage, number 2, and then let the others run.
Great. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
all right,
Yes.
wonderful.
So just going to the event section, we need, well, we're not talking about each individual. Okay.
No, right. Well, sorry, I got a dog making a lot of noise in the background. All right. So yeah, we'll get into those. I think in our next meetings, we'll kind of dig down into each one of them and figure out where we're going with that. Jeff, just circling back for a second, were we off base on anything when we were talking about the passing bikes and all that?
No, absolutely, right on spot on, and the examples is from what you guys are talking about with substitute me for this, that, or the other thing as a cyclist, is kind of opens people's eyes. I mean, people get mad about slow cyclists, they got to go around. But if I was a tractor, on Meadow Road, you wouldn't think twice realistically, because it's a tractor. But so no, spot on.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah, Matt actually had a good tagline. That, what was it, Matt? Something like 3 feet, 3 seconds, and I'm out of your way.
Yeah.
That's good. Like that. Well, that's we'll circle back to. I like the idea of the town. Try and get we got a lot of trucks on the road. We can try and get you guys in front of them, but figure out what other companies in town we can try and do that with. That would be good.
Just one thought on that. We could do something at a centralized location and invite a lot of companies too, right? We don't have to do this at every company. So maybe that's just another approach to think about.
Yep.
Do it at the community center, do it at the town garage. Invite.
That's a
other
real good
companies to
idea. I
come.
hadn't even thought of that, instead of having 6 drivers here and 8 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, get them together.
And you could do a train the trainer type thing. That a company could send 2 or 3 drivers down, and then they could, bring the message back.
Yeah.
Good. And next time we're going for our new level in we can move up from our bronze with some more training. All right, should we move on to So we move on to old business?
God, so much to talk about. Yeah,
Yes. But we have limited time, Ron.
I know.
Okay, why don't we start off with achievements for 2022?
Yeah, so the member that really prompted this was Andres, and he's not here tonight. But if anybody has any achievements that we've done, other than the sorry, I'm drawing a blank. The complete streets that we added to our zoning regulations this year. I think we did that in November. Anything other than that, write it down, shoot me an email. I know we did a lot of discussing of things last year and not too much action, but the complete streets was a pretty big one, and that's a pretty big win.
But we did design the parking center in Unionville too, right? It'll be completed
Yep,
this spring,
yes.
but
Yep,
there
that's
was
good.
some work done on that last year, design, and
Yeah.
I think the sidewalks one. And
So the latest on that is that we should be getting the physical sign for the Welcome to Unionville sign. We should be getting that at the end of this month, and that should be installed by the end of this month. The directional poles that go on either side of the 177 crosswalk on the trail, those have been a nightmare to get. I ordered them in October and they're still not here. I was actually on the phone with our supplier today and yesterday trying to get them here. And they're working on it, and they're working to find alternatives as well, see if someone has one that we can, or has two that we can grab that are already in stock. So we're working on getting those two pieces, but the signs that go on them are also going to be completed by the end of this month. So really, we just need to install those poles to house the signs for the directional signs, and we'll be all done there. So that pocket park is what we called it in the office. That's another achievement. To me, that's a big one too. I mean, that's going to be such an improvement for the area. I mean, it already is. It's mostly up, but it's going to look very nice when the sign gets installed.
Yeah, it's good. Make sure when it's, when they're just about to put it in, you let us know so we can, do something, have a nice photo
Yeah.
op.
Yeah, Rose has to hold a ceremony,
Right.
a ribbon cutting. And I'm sure once we get the sign in, she'll organize that with the grant.
That was AARP, right?
Yeah, AARP, and I think she got one from Citibank as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. What was next on there?
Bike walk Farmington posts. I know you guys touched upon a couple of them from Ron's email last meeting. We didn't get through everything. I just wanted to make sure everyone was good with it. Ron, I sent you my responses on Monday in an email. Since you were the one that had all the questions. If we want to go over that, I have it up on my screen and I can move it over, or if you guys want to continue to Farmington Valley Trails Council, that's fine as well.
No, I've got a couple
All right.
points. So the porta potties, why can't we, the porta potties, why can't we put them in earlier?
Money at the moment.
Okay,
I know it's a couple $100 a week, I think, to have them in, because they do weekly cleanings. I think they clean them twice a week. So it would likely be another $1,000 or $2 to bring them in. April 1st would be my thought. Off the bat, I don't personally see the bills that come in for those. So I don't know too much about how much they cost, but I do know it's a couple $100 a week.
Is that a bid process that they used to get those?
I'm not entirely sure. It's I'm sure it is though.
We have 2 or 3 of them in town.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that either, Matt. I'm not sure whether that went out for bid or whether it fell under the scope of having to go out for bid.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious because I did porta potties for my whole race series and they cost me about $300 for 4 weeks. For 4
Oh.
porta potties.
Then maybe it's a couple $100 a month, not per week, which sounds more likely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sounds a lot easier to get done too, no? Like, so who makes the decision on that? Is it a group of
I
people? or-
believe Russ Arnold. I'm not entirely sure. The bill does come through our office, and Nicole Primich is the one who usually handles it.
Ron, we'll find out what
Okay.
the actual cost is to go earlier than,
Yeah.
to go April instead of May, and see where the costs are and see what, what we can figure out. And if it's, look, frankly, if it's $1,000 or $2,000, maybe we even get a donation or something to cover it, so it's not even a question.
I'm just, I'm kind of just passing along, like, I get information, I get, like, people come to me when they're, want to know something or have a complaint or a suggestion. So a lot of it has been the porta potties.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep, I'll make a note that this is a question that the committee members get a lot.
Okay, all of us do, yeah.
Well, I can single you out if you want, Ron.
No, I'm just saying, for all of us, it sounds
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like more people are reaching out.
But anytime
Exactly.
you get an opportunity to single Ron out, certainly do that.
No, I don't need that. So, okay, that's probably the biggest one. I'm just looking at it right now. Oh, the members on the board. What does that mean? We have room for one non-voting member?
Yeah, so during the inception of the Bicycle Advisory Committee, we had a set number of seats and a set number of non-voting seats. I think originally the Board of Ed was supposed to have 1 voting seat, but then we added a new person to the group, so that takes their seat there away, but they still have 1 seat for a non-voting member. Now
So,
that Bruce is gone.
okay, sorry. So here's my question. We kind of have to go with, so how many people do we have here tonight? All right. So what's the big deal of expanding the board? Like, what does it take? Just someone at town hall saying, okay, you can add 1 or 2 more members.
We'd have to go through the council, Ron. The council
Okay.
created the commission, so we'd have to go through the council and then.
So I think we should, because I've got a female I would like to get onto the board, because take a look, we're all white guys. I think that would be nice to get a little,
oh, at least
Ron?
you got the short guy covered, Ron.
and I
And
just think,
I got the cranky old guy covered.
and I just think with our plans moving forward, that it doesn't hurt to have 1 or 2 more. And if it's just explaining to the town council, okay, this is why they need it, then I don't see why it's an issue. I think we should do it. Whatever we
Maybe
need
the
to
town council rep should be a woman.
do.
I'll swap out. I got one for you right there.
Mhm. I mean, am I like totally off base with this? Like,
No,
to add
no,
2
you're
more people, what's the big deal?
It's not a budgetary issue.
And to
Right.
let them vote, I don't get it.
It's just a change, Ron. It's not a big deal. I mean, we can do that.
Okay.
It's not a heavy lift.
All right, when can we do it?
After the budget.
Okay,
Nothing's gonna happen until after the budget.
all right.
Okay. All right. Shall
But
we
in,
move
in
on?
the, in the meantime, these
Yes.
meetings are open to the public. And
Yes, they are.
anybody is willing to
True,
come
true,
in
true.
and anybody can come in and participate, so.
And Ron, if you have someone who's interested, that would give us good incentive to enlarge the committee if we actually have somebody else showing up, because I think
She was
over
just
the
here.
entire, yeah, over the entire time that we've had this committee, I think we've had 3 members of the public speak. One of them being you before you were on the board, and I think the other one being Bruce before he was on the board.
Okay, was she I thought she was at our last meeting.
Was
She
she-
was at the last meeting,
Yeah.
but I think it would help if she were here tonight and at the next meeting or until this change would happen or occur. Am I right, CJ? Is that what you were going
No, I
with?
think that's great. I think it's,
Yeah.
someone showing an interest in it is great, and I know she's got an interest, and she's obviously been involved in the other organization whose name I can't remember what you changed it to.
Whitewalk Farmington, she's the vice chair.
So anyway, yeah, no, that's something we can do. We'll talk about it after we're done with the budget.
Okay,
So
after the budget.
after the budget, 2024. So what's our next item on here?
Farmington Valley Trails Council update, seeing that Bruce is not here tonight.
Well, Bruce isn't on the, he's not no longer really a member. He is, but he's, he's not on the board really now. He doesn't attend the meetings.
Do you have any information on the Farmington
On the
Valley
rep.
Trails Council meeting?
Okay,
Our guy now,
so,
Ron?
yeah. No, it's something that's just too much to get into about signage in the future, blah, blah, blah. It's no big deal.
Okay,
Very
Okay,
committed us.
yeah, I know that was a popular item in the past. I'll take it off the agenda for next meeting then.
Take what off?
The Farmington Valley Trails Council update.
No, let's keep it on there.
Keep it on? All right,
just this one, you don't have a report. That's okay, right?
all right. No problem.
Okay.
And then our last item tonight, CJ, was road signage. And label, or I wanted to know more about the cyclist routes in Farmington.
Yeah, we've had conversations in the past on these, and trying to put together common bike routes, whether it's on trails, whether it's on roads, what have you. And I think what Dylan was talking about is, getting together an actual map. We had done it once, and I don't know whether that one still exists, but favored routes, things like that.
Did Andres have something through Strava, some sort of heat map?
He did. Yes, that's a good point. I forgot about that one, which is, Strava does a great job of that. The heat map takes Farmington and just shows common routes that people have ridden. So is everybody familiar with the Strava maps?
I am not, no.
Okay, basically it's, well, how about Matt? You want to explain Strava maps to Dylan?
Well, basically Strava Maps is just, it's a service that you can do all your digital mapping and record your data on. And you can share it with other people, but you can actually go on there and it uses the amount of riders on Strava who ride certain routes to record the popularity of those routes. And so if someone looks for a popular route in Farmington and they're looking on Strava, it'll automatically send them to what would be a bike-friendly route, something used by a lot of other riders.
Wow, okay.
Now it doesn't pick up casual riders, right?
Right.
It's more, you have to be a Strava member, so. as long as
Exactly.
you're
So-
aware of it, yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're on Strava and you're a casual rider, it'll do it. If
Yeah.
you're a racer, it'll do it, but only if you're on Strava. So it's kind of like being on Facebook. It's one of those things where you join up and there's a free one, and then of course there's one you pay money for.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
none of us
So
do.
for instance, someone like me, I'm on Map My Ride. I'm a casual type rider. So I may take different routes and that doesn't get recorded.
No,
Does
No.
Map My Ride, can they provide that data, do you know?
I don't believe that they do, but that's a good question. I'll check it out.
Yeah, Ron, look, because I know you can look up rides. I don't know whether you have to have the name of the ride or whether you can look up rides by town on Map My Ride. If you can
Or by
find by
mileage
town,
from your house.
yeah,
Yeah.
because those would be two great starting points if we were to have, put together our own map. You get great common routes, and if we had a link, maybe we put a link from the town's page or something like that. People go to the
Yeah, get
let's
more
see,
people.
the
Yeah.
BAPAC tab on the town page, and you see what some good rides are.
So I thought that was the plan for the QR code, or was that just to?
Yeah,
show
we
the map?
talked about that too, at the
Okay.
January meeting.
So then that can be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it could be, absolutely.
Okay.
Matt, could you send Dylan a link to the Strava so he can see how to look at those maps?
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, that's all I had tonight, CJ.
Okay, that's good. Let's see, what else do we have in here?
I had one question I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Does Farmington have anything set up where if you're, say, you spot a hazard in the road, like a large pothole, is there a mechanism for reporting that to the town so that it gets fixed?
I'm laughing because it's called Unionville Chats.
Well, the reason I ask, I had an accident in West Hartford in the winter, over the winter. And I come to find out they have a work order system where you can type in a work order and provide information, pictures, map, etc. And much to my surprise, I did that after I had my accident. I got an email response almost, it was that same night with high priority on it, and it was fixed the next day. And then I got a follow-up email telling me that it was fixed.
Oh, that's
I
great.
just was I was blown away by it.
Wow.
And the reason I bring it up is like a back-to-back potholes on Red Oak Hill Road down the flats just before it intersects with Meadow Road. And I know it's there and I always avoid it, but it would definitely send you for a loop if you hit it. So
Rich, I just threw in a link to the town website, the Highway and Grounds Department. We do have a reporting system there.
okay, great.
Yep, it's if you go to our webpage, the 3 lines, departments, Highway and Grounds, there's a link there called Pothole Road Conditions and Catch Basins.
Right.
We also have for our night riders malfunctioning streetlight reports. So if you are out at night and you notice a streetlight is out, that would be the place to report it as well.
All right, great. I'll check it out.
So I just opened this up and it says that the town is not responsible for Route 4, Route 6, Route 10, 167, 177, etc.
Yeah, those are
all
state
state roads. So
Correct.
it would be nice if there was a way to report it here and have that fed up to the state.
I believe the state has a reporting system as well.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of, something to make it easy, like Rick
Yeah.
said.
Neil, to your
reported
point,
it
and
and it was taken
Dylan,
care of.
Yeah.
if we could have a link right there, those are
Yeah,
state
that's-
roads, and here's the link to go to those state roads. So when they go on our website, you just get brought right to the state reporting.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. And we can find that link that's appropriate for our town because they do break it up
Great.
by the districts.
Excellent.
Yep.
Nice call, Rich.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else we've got?
No, not for me.
Okay. If not, do we have a move to adjourn? Second? All in favor? We are adjourned, gentlemen. 7:56.